Can we talk about second-year quarterbacks, maybe even third-year quarterbacks as well? Simon's not here, but we probably should mention Tua at some point. But let's talk the second-year guys first and foremost. I guess start with Trevor Lawrence. What did you see from him in year one? A guy who I think we all saw was sensational in college. I watched the game when he came and played in London. Some of the throws that he made that I just saw the arm talent. I saw that it was, that he was off kilter, that he was being forced out of the pocket and still making these fantastic plays. And I was like, there are probably only 5 or 6 guys in the league who can make those throws, but nothing around him is set up for it to work. And then I also like the fact that how he dealt with the whole Urban Meyer situation showed a maturity way beyond his years, I thought. So he's set up to be a breakout candidate, but did you see enough from him in year one that actually it's going to work at the NFL level?
Oh, yeah, he was extraordinary, which I know sounds daft because I have not even been through the numbers because I imagine they're brutal. I think with him, there's no need to because of how unfair it was around him. I think I've detailed on here before. Some of the concepts they were trying to run are concepts that the timing of them can physically not work at the NFL level. And yet that's what Urban Meyer and his staff installed. There are little things he does that just blow you away in terms of resetting his feet where you think there shouldn't be time in the NFL, but the great ones find a way to do it. Rodgers is great at this, right? Where he's so light on his feet and you think he's about to throw the ball, then he'll reset and roll his hip. And that snappiness, that extra beat, and particularly when you're playing in an offense with guys where there's just no juice in the perimeter, go back through some of there's a 4-week stretch where their intermediate middle of the field threat is Tavon Austin, who is 5'6", probably, and lies and says he's 5'8". And that's the guy you're trying to drop the ball over linebackers to Tavon Austin in the middle of the field. So it was just brutal last year. And he was amazing. I mean, I wrote a giant piece on him, maybe week 9, week 10, which I think holds up and people should maybe go and have a read of because it will really dig into some of the nuances of what he does, reading of leverage, the really, really in-depth stuff. He is as good as advertised. There is absolutely nothing about him that I would not be concerned about. And the only thing for me that gives me any pause is I don't love him necessarily in the Doug Peterson offense, because in Doug Peterson's offense, I like someone who wants to get rid of the ball really, really quickly in the rep, which is just that point guard spraying it around. And with Lawrence, I'm like, no, let him do more. He can do a lot more. You don't need Mac Jones. You want Mac Jones in that get the ball out quick offense. With Trevor Lawrence, I want him in a Bruce Arians driving the ball down the field offense, tons of deep options, the Sean McVay stuff, and let him read it out and go to work because he's smart enough and good enough and shown that already from the pocket in the NFL to do it. His movement skills within the pocket are as good as it gets. And that was the question mark coming out, right? Because he played in a kind of goofy offense at Clemson where they didn't let him do a whole lot of pro style stuff. It was everything you could ever ask for at the NFL level. So to me, he is the one I had number one on my list. And I know it was the second year guy. So as you said at the top, we are trying to cast a bit of a further net, but I expect with him in a competent offense to go from any lingering question marks to it being pretty clear that this guy, he might not be Joe Burrow, because I'm not sure anyone is. The guy might be the best in the NFL, right? But that we will comfortably say he's in that top 8 discussion for the next 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah, I agreed. And I'm glad that we are on the same page on that, because I just saw a guy in just the worst situation who was still managing to elevate himself above it. And yet, because he doesn't have the numbers, because he doesn't have the wins, because he doesn't, like, people just dismiss it out of hand.